Ας περάσουμε τώρα στο επόμενο μας θέμα που έχει να κάνει με την εκδήλωση γευσιγνωσίας κυπριακών κρασιών που διοργανώθηκε με πρωτοβουλία του Υπουργείου Ενέργειας, Εμπορίου, Βιομηχανίας και Τουρισμού και το Κυπριακό Εμπορικό Κέντρο της Υπάτης Αρμοστείας στις 31 Οκτωβρίου στο ιστορικό Vintners Hall του Λονδίνου. Στην εκδήλωση έλαβαν μέρος 14 κυπριακά οινοποιεία, τα οποία παρουσίασαν μοναδικά κρασιά από γηγενείς και διεθνείς ποικιλίες. Η εκδήλωση τέλεσε υπό την αιγίδα της Κυπριακής Υπάτης Αρμοστείας. Οι παρευρισκόμενοι είχαν την ευκαιρία να παρακολουθήσουν την παρουσίαση τύπου Masterclass από την διάσημη λεσβηνόστρια Caroline Gilby, η οποία στην παρουσίασή της ενημέρωσε για τις τελευταίες εξελίξεις στην κυπριακή οινοποιία και ανέλυσε ορισμένα από τα πιο χαρακτηριστικά κυπριακά κρασιά. Εμείς θα παρακολουθήσουμε αποσπάσματα από τον χώρο της εκδήλωσης, ένα μικρό μέρος της παρουσίασης από την Caroline Gilby και τέλος πλάνα από τον χώρο όπου οι επισκέπτες είχαν την ευκαιρία να δοκιμάσουν τα κυπριακά κρασιά και να γευτούν τις διάφορες κυπριακές ποικιλίες. Ας δούμε το βίντεο.
Okay, well, I think we'll make a start, and if anybody else wants to come and join us, there's a few places left, but not many. So it's nice to see so many people taking an interest in the wines of Cyprus, which are not terribly well known in the UK, at least not in their current guise. I mean, as many of you will remember from the dim and distant, we used to drink an awful lot of what was at one time called Cyprus sherry and then became Cyprus fortified and things like Enver cream. And then there was a fair amount of concentrate and so on that arrived in the UK to become British wine and that sort of thing. Quite a lot of bulk went to Germany to become glue wine, all in the past. So some of you will know that my normal specialist patch is actually Central and Eastern Europe, and particularly the former Eastern Bloc. And Cyprus got added on, really by accident, a few years ago when I started writing for Tom Stevenson's wine report. And he needed somebody that was politically not connected to some of the other countries in the region, and said, would I add on Cyprus to Central and Southeastern Europe? And I thought, well, okay, it wasn't communist and so on, but why not? So that's really when I started to explore Cyprus. And So it has emerged over my time studying Cyprus and following the wine industry that there are actually parallels with my normal patch of the Eastern Bloc, because it has gone from this model of big wineries crushing huge amounts of grapes that really the quality did not matter a damn, pretty heavily subsidised in those days as well, to today's industry, which is a completely different ballgame of much smaller wineries, much more quality-focused wineries, with a completely different mindset to the previous era. So similarities there. And then the other big parallel with, one of the countries I do specialise in quite heavily is Hungary. And Hungary has an iconic sweet wine that, the king of wines, the wine of kings, famously dubbed. Well, Cyprus too has an iconic sweet wine, which was also dubbed by Richard the Lionheart, apparently, the king of wines and the wine of kings. But, the question of sweet wines in today's wine drinking world it's quite a challenging one. So anyway, we'll talk about that when we get onto the sweet wines. But I think some interesting parallels with the part of the world that I normally specialise in. Basically, the key sort of wine regions are the Paphos district and the Lemessos or Limassol district. And while the map's up, and we've marked on where all the wineries that are here are, with just one winery over in the Larnaca district. But I think it's very clear the change from the past. The wineries used to be on the coast, and now they're all up in the hills. Which is a really important fact in understanding modern Cyprus wines. And another important thing about Cyprus is it is an island, and that has meant that it has never had phylloxera, and it still doesn't have phylloxera. So it has this fantastic legacy of great varieties that are unique to Cyprus, and still grow on their own roots, and in many cases may be potentially centuries old. Nobody really knows. So now I'm the wrong side of the to make my computer work. We'll get the hang of this eventually. So I thought this was worth highlighting because, we are in the spiritual home of the wine trade here. And Five Kings House got its name from this famous feast of the Five Kings, where the alderman of the Vintners Company invited these five kings to this feast here in this very building in 1363. And one of those kings was King Peter I of Cyprus. So there's been a long connection between the spiritual home of the British wine trade and Cyprus. And I'm told that even today, when the vintners have a toast, it's 5 cheers in recognition of these 5 kings. So very much a historical connection with Cyprus and the UK wine trade. So moving on to a few statistics, because I like statistics and they sort of give you a perspective of what's going on really. So Cyprus today, the vineyard area has dropped considerably from the past. And one of the key turning points, a very significant point in the history of Cyprus winemaking, and certainly in driving it forward towards the new quality that we're seeing today, was joining the EU in 2004, because that made subsidies for certainly shipments to other EU countries illegal. So that really meant the end of this big volume business that had been based heavily on subsidies. So at that point, quite a lot of vineyards really started to fall out of production. Off the top of my head, I've forgotten what the actual area was pre-EU membership, and I'm sure one of the Cypriots might be able to tell me, or I can dig it out of my notes later if you want to know. Between a really good traditional commanderia and a really good modern interpretation of commanderia. Both really lovely wines in their own way. And something that, it is a highlight of Cyprus, even if sweet wines are hard to sell because, people will have a small glass on a special occasion. or, you know, by the glass in a restaurant maybe is the way to look at these things. And when you look at the trouble that people go to make them, you know, the price you can sell the wines for compared to the effort that you have to put into making them doesn't always match up, but it's really part of the Cyprus offer. So then I thought I'd finish off with a little just picture of some very early drinkers depicted on the Cyprus mosaics at Paphos, supposedly one of the first pictorial pictures of people drinking, and they're meant to be shepherds getting drunk, I believe. And then, you know, I think I fell in love with Cyprus wines really when I first went there, and I've loved the pace of real revolution in winemaking. You know, it's not like there's a tiny bit of evolution like if I was writing about France or Italy or whatever. It is an absolute revolution in sort of all these countries I write about at the far end of Europe, and there's always something new and exciting to discover. So thank you very much for your attention. I hope you've tasted some interesting wines. I hope you've enjoyed what I had to say. Please go and taste, you know, there's lots more to taste downstairs, so please go and do so. And if anybody has any questions or comments, I am here.
Yeah.
Ολόκληρη την εκδήλωση με το Wine Tasting και Masterclass θα παρακολουθήσετε προσεχώς στην εκπομπή με το φακό του Hellenic TV.